Yeah, here I am. It's, what is it, Saturday, April Fool's Day. Hey, and only a fool would be out here in the shop painting. So I spent the last few days, I don't know how, maybe 3 days, 3 or 4 days, getting this stuff ready for paint. So welcome back, right? And anybody that's new coming around, welcome to it. These have got quite a bit of work getting them ready. I think I did that all in the last video. Then I got them hung up and spent one day getting everything ready in here, and the next day was getting the base coat on, two coats of base coat, and then today it's not even like 3 o'clock yet, so I've got the clear coat done, and the clear coat came out pretty nice, looking pretty good so far. I'll wait until I have a final verdict tomorrow. So the only trick is going to be getting these things off of here without wrecking them. Hey, so anyway, that'll be good for this week or this episode, and I'll hopefully next episode will be getting them onto the van. A couple of things in the van that I want to get right before I put the doors on. One of them is the driver's seat. I've got it sitting up on the pedestal right now for that, to make it so it swings around. The passenger seat is fine sitting up on the pedestal to swing around, but the driver's seat makes it just a little bit tall, and so I'm going to take the pedestal out and just mount it directly to the seat itself. See how that works out. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy it all, and comment, subscribe, like, whatever you do there, and I'll see you next time around. Bye for now. Yeah, here I am, going to get ready to paint these things now. It's, well, what day is it? Thursday, March 29, 2023. And all these doors are pretty well ready for paint. I'm going to hang them up, blow them off, and get my bucket full of fresh water and wash them off, and then acetone them, and then they might be ready to paint then. But first, I'm going to get them hung and hang them off the. I've got the lift lifted up this high, and I've got some lots of wire. I've got a bunch of old-timey. Wonder where it is. Over here somewhere. I have to go around everything now. Old-timey welding wire, which I imagine that Bob came over here one day and had this roll of wire. He said maybe you could use it, and I've been using it for all sorts of things. All sorts of things. That was snow coming off the roof, methinks. And one of the things I use it for is fill wire. When I'm, MIG welding and you need a little bit of fill, I use this stuff here for fill. But in this case here, it's plenty strong. It'll hold doors, I'm sure. So I'll hang the doors with it. And then we'll blow everything out, and then I'll vacuum it again, and I'll let this down, let my paint booth down, vacuum it, and then I'm going to set up the door so it's got a better ventilation system here. I'm going to use this fan, hang the door, push the door down to that level, and then bring my plastic around it so that it exhausts all the fumes out there, and I might not get as much of that overspray happening this time around. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, there it is. Looks a little bit like Stonehenge in here now. I imagine I can get these painted up that way. Now I'll have to do some papering on so I don't paint my lift don't want to paint my lift. And make sure I got this stuff up out of the way so I don't get it in my eyes. Okay? So, yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'll get them all cleaned up and spend some time. I got to bring my paint booth down out from up above there and do a bit more cleaning up in here, and then we'll get at it. Yeah, so here it is. Like I think I'm set in here except for cleaning now. So I put a exhaust fan there, and then when I'm not exhausting, I can just, I've got this board here, which will be right now I'm not exhausting, so I might as well just put the board across, and then that'll just keep most of the cold air out, and I'll be able to turn the heater back on in here now, which I'll do right now. Over here, keep the place reasonably warm when I want to go. And now, where am I? All right, right here. So I'll go get a new clean bucket of water, then maybe I'll just wash the floor with that water, and then I'll go get a new clean bucket of water for washing these things off. That'd be a good idea, hey? I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, so they're all rinsed off with soap and water. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll take a cloth with acetone on it and go over the whole thing with acetone. That'll pick up the rest of the little bits. And then a tack cloth, because there's still a little bit of dust on there, I see. So, but now next is to paper up the lift a bit so I don't paint it too much. And then we'll see where we go from there. So anyway, while I was at it there was a big scratch on here from sitting on the workbench. I must have moved it the wrong way when I was working on the back side, and that was a bit disappointing, but it did come out with sanding, so that was good. And there was another scratch right here on this one that came out with sanding too, so I'm happy with that. And there was some scratches here from the sandpaper process with the big sander. Anyway, they're all cleaned up, and you can't see that stuff until you start cleaning it, eh? Yeah, they're all papered up now to keep most of the paint off. Anyhow, looks a little bit biblical, that does. It's about 20 past 4 already, so I don't think I'll get it done. I don't think I'll be doing painting today, but I'll go ahead and I'll get the what do you call that stuff, acetone, and rub them all down with acetone, and then we'll tomorrow day I'll come back out and we'll see about getting started on it with tack cloth and then paint. So acetone time right now. Yeah, here we go. You might as well watch a bit, see what happens. I'll move you around. Yeah, there we go. That stuff eats right through the rubber gloves. Nothing left of them. Anyway, I'll do the backside also, but I won't film that. Yeah, so I think I've got it sort of cleaned up here now, ready to go. That thing's ready. So a mixing cup. Now this one here, the proportions that you need for this are 4 parts base coat, 3 parts acetone, and 1 part of this hardener. So then, like I tried to figure it out. I figured it out last time, like pretty close, but I had a big bucket full, right? And that was too much paint. It was hardening in the bucket. So now, to make a reasonable, like a small amount of mix, which is be this, so I figured it out in the milliliter side. So if you go to the 300 milliliters, then that's 4 parts is 75 milliliters each. So you add 225 for 3 parts, that makes 525, right? And then you add 75 for 1 more part, and that makes up to 600. So that would be a fairly precise measurement there. But it just says all over this thing here, measurements are approximate only. So what the hell, eh? I guess we'll get pretty close. So I've marked up both of these things, 4, 3 to 1. And that's what I'll use for measuring it out tomorrow. And now, I think I'll just, it's pretty near quitting time, it's about 5 o'clock, so I'll clean up the paint gun, the one for, which one? I want the one for paint, which is this one over here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, where does it go? Oh, where did it go? Oh, here it is, right here. So this paint gun here, I'll just take it apart and clean it again. I cleaned it well when I finished with it last time, but I'll give it another cleaning before I start doing anything, get it set up right, see what happens. Anyhow, that's what I'll do. Yep, here I am, pretty near ready to go on this stuff. And I will set up the camera for a bit of it, see what happens. And then I'll have to take the camera away because otherwise the camera will get painted on me. I don't need that. Anyhow, the everything here is set to go. I have to reset my thing for the door outside. So to what do you call that? Ventilation system. Like, so when this is in the door, then the top of the door is open a crack, so the air can come in the top, circulate through, and then go out the bottom. We hope that's the theory anyhow. We'll see what happens. And what I'll do is I'll paint the, I gotta go over them all with a tack cloth now. And I'll paint the insides first, just to get the feel for stuff again. Then I'll have a go at the outsides, see what happens. Now, last time I was painting, I had this jug of paint out, but I've got this one here has just been shook up at the store, so I'll use that up, and then when I'm done today, I'll mix the two of them together and stir them together, and that'll be good. I found out that this regulator here didn't read the same as what the regulator on the over on the compressor read. So I've changed the regulator to the one I had on that gun there, and lo and behold, it's reads the same as what the regulator on the compressor says, or what the pressure gauge on the compressor says. So it's all cleaned up. I went spent quite a bit of time cleaning that gun up so that it's running properly, I hope. And then we'll see if I can get a decent coat of paint on. So here I go. I got to go and get the tack cloth out and get going on that. Yeah, so now, here I am, going around the corner. So I take the tack cloth and I wrap it, and I sort of ball it around one of my terry cloth things, right? That's all the yuck that came out of that. So I'll do the back of them and then sort of get ready to paint, I think. Yeah, that's all set up now. Ventilation system. A little bit of a breezy day out there today, so you're getting some breeze action here, but hopefully it's not too bad. I'll turn it on and see how it works in a minute or two. Yeah, there, I think I'm, well, let me see here. We're near ready. I tested out the fan, it works. Then I covered it over so to keep the cold air out a bit. Light right in your eye there. And so then these are all cleaned with tack cloth. Put my little piece of cardboard up right there so I can test the spray pattern out. And I'm ready to give it a try here. So what I'll do is I'll come over and I'll paint this door here on the inside first. I'll paint that door on the inside second. And I'll move around those sides over there and see how things work out. My biggest problem is going to be getting down in the bottom there to get that this underneath bit here. Going to be difficult to get into. I thought about lifting the door up, but once you start moving the door, they start swinging like that, and it's impossible to get a good spray pattern on without touching them again. Not supposed to touch them anyhow. Anyway, I'll mix some paint up here and just see how it goes. Yeah, it's going to be a fairly red mess here. So I filled this little bucket here with red paint, so I don't have to pour it out of that every time. And now this one here is got the 4 parts in there. I put the 3 parts of acetone in. Hang on, just watch that. You can see that happening in real life here. Wait a minute. There it is. Acetone. Right about there. Very precise measurements, right? As we discussed yesterday. Then I need 1 part of this stuff here, universal hardener. That can stuck closed. It hardened itself closed. Must have got some paint on there. Must have got something on there because it hardened itself closed. Anyway, I'll get it open later. One part of this stuff. And then stir it up well. It's quite a bit diluted now that you have it's sort of a 1-to-1 dilution if you get all the count up all the bits in there. Well, don't be scared to squirt it up well. Now, I'm getting myself painted, so I better put my rubber gloves on again. Turn into a red mess when I'm doing this stuff, eh? Last time I did it, I had my sleeves rolled up a little bit, and I painted my sleeves, painted my hands everywhere. Whoops. Got to pour it through a strainer. Kind of important to put it through a strainer or else you plug up the whole system here. Everything gets pretty damn red. I'll move you over, you can see what's happening over here. Here, I'm going to test the, so you pull the trigger halfway, touch the pressure here, which is 25 or 28 or something like that, it's pretty close. Then you pull the trigger all the way, about this far away. Yeah, I got it set up on that. That'll work. Okay, now. Here I am, I'm going to do this door here. Right? Not looking at the right place? I think so. There we go. That's enough of that. I'll start with the doors now. Yeah, so that exhaust fan works pretty good. I can take off my mask right here, not out there. But now it's 1:27. Hey Google, set a timer for 20 minutes.
All right, 20 minutes.
So the timer's on.
Now.
And now I've got to clean up this this stuff here, because if you don't keep it clean in between coats, you're going to be in trouble. And then that leftover there goes in the waste bucket, because it'll be too hard before it gets onto it next time. There's only a tiny bit left over, so that amount that I mixed up is pretty close to the right amount for doing a couple of 4 doors, right? I've got another 12 minutes and 38 seconds to wait, so I'll just shut you off. There you go. Yeah, so here we are. I'll just have a look around at the first coat. You can see, like it's not that heavy a coat. They say to put on a bunch of light coats, not heavy coats with this stuff. But actually it looks pretty good. Now I don't know what's happening underneath here, whether I got that or not. I'll have to just have a look there and see. No, you guys can see that, I can't. I'll check this footage and see how I did there. Oh. And the last one is over here. This one here is the hardest to get to. So I hope I got it. There we go. Well, my exhaust system seems to work very well. It's all cleaned out in here. Hey. Or well enough. Now, just to check if it's ready for a second coat, you just touch your finger on something that's taped up, eh? And still a little bit tacky there, but I'll mix up some paint and be ready to go here pretty soon. I think by the time my 20 minutes is up, they say on the instructions that 20-minute recoat. And we'll see, like you can see this, that's where there was a patch in there, so different color underneath, so you need to get that covered over. So they might take 3 coats, but if they take 3 coats, that's fine. It'll only take, I think the inside is pretty good the way it is. I might just, there's a couple of spots I missed. One going right down here, I missed on that there, missed right there, and I didn't get that covered up very well. So there's stuff like that to look for. That corner there I got covered up all right. Anyway, looking pretty good. So far, so good. I'll get to mixing paint, and then I won't show you any more of that painting business. I'll just show you the results now. You've had enough of that, I'm sure. There you go. That's 2 good coats of base on there. And I think I've got pretty nice coverage everywhere. And it actually looks like it's a nice paint job. What do you do about that? So you can hear me squicking on the floor here. Give it enough flash time, like it's still tacky there. Give it enough flash time so that it'll take the clear coat all right. So what I did was two coats on the outside, and then on the inside, I only had 1 coat in the middle stuff here, and then I did 2 coats around the edges, especially around like the windowsill and stuff like that. So clear coat wise, I'll just clear coat around the edges, won't bother with the windows, and same on the back doors, hey, the side doors. But it all came out pretty well. Like, I think I did a better job here than I did with the van when I was in here, mostly because I started to understand the paint a bit better and started to get figured out how to do things, right? But we'll see after. I won't brag about anything until I get until I get it all done. And then once it's got a clear coat on it, if it comes out nice and shiny, I'll be a happy guy. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll come back. I might come up later and do a clear coat, or I might wait till tomorrow. I'll think about it. Yeah, there, I've given it about, 30 minutes or 40 minutes. 40 minutes. And they're still a little bit tacky, like if you touch the tape there, it's tacky. So, I'm going to leave it till tomorrow before I try putting a clear coat on there. Just because it's better to be patient than it is to be overzealous with this stuff. But I think it'll come out pretty nice. I hope so anyhow. So I've got my thing blocked off here, not very well. See if I can get that blocked off a bit better. And maybe I'll tape that tape that on there before I go. And I'm gonna go and just, like I was cleaning the, you can hear me squicking on the floor here because the floor is tacky too. So I'm gonna go and clean up my gun for the clear coat, which is in here soaking away, and maybe I'll just leave it over there overnight there and clean it in the morning. Well, that'd likely be a good idea anyhow. Clean it just before I start working. So everything else is, I cleaned up everything else. I even cleaned up the door out there. I'll show you that where the overspray happened. Well, overspray where the fan was blowing stuff out. Now, which one of these is a good one? They're both red now. There used to be one wasn't red. I think this is the one that's not working very well. I'll put that over there. So we'll find out tomorrow how it is. Okay, that's all. I think that's all for today, right? I got myself all wound up in my paint booth here. So I'll get some lights turned off and turn off that fan there. I've had that running just to, clear out the air a bit. I don't know what the hell it does, because it's supposed to be a filter, but this end here has got red on it, so it must be some of those molecules coming through. Anyway, that's good enough. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, there I cleaned off the paint where it was blowing through there, so maybe I should put that blower in the middle here, but they'd likely get the door anyhow, so I'll just make sure I clean up after myself. Anyway, nice day. Well, grim, kind of a grim day. It's supposed to snow or rain or do something tonight. We'll find out. So I'll see you tomorrow, and then the next after that would be, after I get those doors done, I have to figure out this thing. I don't know whether I just want to sand that down a bit and buff it up, or maybe I'll look on the YouTube and see if I can find out what to do about that. Yeah, so anyhow, whenever you're cleaning up stuff, you got to remember to look up. Got a nice pink panel there. I'll see if I can get that cleaned off. Yeah, so I'm glad I saw it before it got hard on there. I've already taken one swipe at it, so this is swipe number 2 coming up. There we go. That's pretty clean now. Little touch of red left in the cracks there, but that'll all fade out with the sun, I'm sure. Now that's, where am I? I'm coming in now. Okay. Anyway, so I think I made the right decision to wait till tomorrow for these things. Let them harden up good or dry out good before I try and clear coat them, because I really wouldn't want to have to scrape it all off and start again. That would be very painful. But it looks like it's pretty good now, and not hardly tacky left anymore there. A little bit is still sticking to the floor a bit. So anyhow, that'll be that for today. Again. Yeah, here I am out in the, I guess it's a red room, hey? And things turned out pretty good. All the panels look, reasonably good. A little bit of orange peel, but very, very small amount of orange peel on it. And I think that the clear coat will cover that. If I get the clear coat right, that'll all be covered up and everything will look very nice. A little bit of a lump right there. Don't know how I did that, but I guess that's what I did. Sometimes you just don't see stuff, right? lots of the panels look pretty nice. There's a side, like a side view of it. I don't know if you can see that. There's just a nice looking panel. I'm happy with that. So I'll have to go over them all with the tack cloth again, and then give them a coat of 2 coats clear coat. The instructions say on it 2 wet coats, so that's what I'll do. I won't touch that. There's a little bit of a flaw there, and there's a little bit of flaw there, but that's something that didn't see that one. There was another one around that I did see that, you know, I think it was on this door here. Don't remember. I read around here there was something that I spent a bit of extra time on, but then I missed that little bit there. Oh well, can't have everything. It'll all, it'll look good to a man on horseback. There we go. So I'll get ready to go on the clear coat business. I have to, number one, what do I have to do? Number one, I have to put my fan back in the door. Gotta get the fan club going. So the fan goes back into the door, and then those cardboard boxes go up on it so that it keeps the air out. And then with clear coat, I don't have to worry about the upper panels because they won't show any color, it'll just be clear. Okay, I'll get at it. Yeah, here I go with the tack cloth and just see if I can show you what's going on here. A little bit close up, isn't it? Anyhow, that's sort of the idea, right? And if you feel the tack cloth catching on something, it means that it's got a rough bit, eh? But everything is pretty smooth along there. So I'll carry on and get the rest of it done. You want to watch? You can watch. Hang on. I'll just stick it over here on the floor. Is that looking the right way, do you think? Right about there, see? Yeah, so this one here, where is it? Turn it around here. RX 114C, El Cheapo Clear. El Cheapo Clear, anyhow. Rondex. So 4:1 it is. So you go on this scale right here, it says 4:1. And I'll make 5 parts of that. And then the 5 on here, like 5 and 5 is 4:1. So there we go. Yeah, here it is. Where am I? Yeah, it's recorded. So I'll put in the this scale. Up to the 5 mark. And then this stuff here, up to the next 5 mark. Yeah, there you go. So they send you a gallon of that and a quart of that, I guess, eh? Or 4 liters to 1 liter. Once it's mixed, we're kind of on the clock. Need to put my mask on, right? Yeah, so I'm going to follow the same routine I did yesterday. I'll do, where am I? I'll do that door first on the back, then I'll do the next door over on the back, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's the creature from the Black Lagoon here. So there's coat number 1 on it. Looks pretty good. So far, so good. Sometimes I wish I'd just leave it the way it is like that because I see myself in there. But it says 2 coats. So I'll put another coat on in 20 minutes or so. And then we'll just let it set for overnight. Anyhow, the ventilation system seems to be working. So I'll just get out of here and let it set for, let's see, how much is left on my timer? 17 minutes left. So set a timer inside for 15 minutes. And don't you know it's snowing out here? Oh well. Anyhow, there you go. Yeah, here I have it. They look pretty good. I think I'm ready for coat number 2, and the ventilation system seems to be working well. So when I go, I'll put another coat on these guys. I'll just check the, might need another 10 minutes before I get a coat on there. I'll give it another 10 minutes. But I have to clean up the gun. I'm finished cleaning up the gun. I soaked it. I'll show you what I did. So when I was finished with the first coat, I happily ran out of paint. And then I just set the gun to soaking in here, cleaned out this stuff, cleaned out that stuff with acetone. So, still a few fumes here. Better put on my mask. So I'll get to cleaning this up and set the timer for another 10 minutes. Hey Google, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes.
There.
And that's starting now.
That Google is very, very attentive. So now I'll get this cleaned up and then I'll mix up another batch, and I'll show you what the results are, because you know, you've seen enough of the spray painting by now, I'm sure, have you? Ah, well, never enough of it, is there? Okay, see you later. Yeah, there we go. I'm all set to go again. I've got the creature from the Black Lagoon back on here, and that thing's full of product, ready to go. I'll do exactly the same as I did last time, and I'll show you how the end result comes out. Yeah, so there it is. 2 coats on there now. Still got the creature from the Black Lagoon here, but I think they look pretty good. I think that's, I won't try and make it any better, because if I try to make it any better, it'll just make it worse. Follow the instructions on the box, and it seems to work pretty good. Found a couple of flaws in the work here. I don't know what the hell. A little bit of a bubble there for some reason, and a couple little bubbles there. Something reacted underneath there. Imperfection on the surface. And the backs look okay. This will be fine. Tacky. It'll look just great once it's in the car. Anyway, I'll leave it here for 20 minutes or so and come back out, turn off the fans, close the door, and let it sit overnight. Yep, here I am, still sticking to the floor, but that's looking pretty good. You can see my reflection in there, so that's good enough for me. Now, if I can make the rest of the car look like that, I'd be a happy guy. So I think I'll be able to do that. I think I'll have another go at getting it right. Like a little bit of orange peel there, but I'm going to live with that because it's not really affecting anything. We'll see how it comes out and looks tomorrow after it's dried out pretty good. But that's 2 wet coats, they call it. Now the trick will be to get them off of here without scratching and denting them, right? Oh well, I'll work on that. Those 2 doors aren't too bad because they aren't too heavy, but these 2 doors are pretty heavy. But that'll be my challenge. I'll see if I can get that done. And I don't think I've missed anywhere. Like the only thing is underneath there, like underneath that edge there, is a little bit hard to get to with the paint gun. So if I miss something there, I'll just fix it up with the like a rattle can. I found a rattle can with the same color, so I'll just fix that up with that if I have to. But all of them look, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I'll let that set overnight and won't touch anything until tomorrow. So now I'll just leave that fan running for a little bit until I clean up the stuff here, and then I'll shut it all down and get my little grubby hands away from everything. Right? So I gotta clean up. I've got it soaking there in acetone right now. This thing here is clean. And I suppose I could hang up my paint booth. That wouldn't hurt to do that too. I'll see about that. Yeah, here we are. That's that'll be that for the painting episode. Everything looks pretty good. It's got 2 coats of base coat, 2 coats of whatever you call that stuff, clear coat, and it comes out nice and shiny. So that'll be that. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Yeah, here we are. Good news today. I think spring is finally just about sprung around here. Lots of that snow that came down the other day is all gone to the disappeared side of stuff. Looks like there's some water coming out on top of the pond over here. And it's plus 5 degrees centigrade. What would that be? 30, 33 or 34, maybe 35 degrees Fahrenheit. And Buster is here with me on the daily Buster Report. Saturday, April Fool's Day. So maybe it's not true. Maybe it's just a figment of imagination that the spring is here. We'll see. That's all for now.